Welcome everyone. My name's Dr. Rock. I'm here just MC for the day to introduce CK. I've known CK for quite some time. One of the deepest thinkers I've met, and I study thinking, so just such a really deep thinker. I was excited to hear his version of the ayahuasca journey. Was it 150 you've done or 150 you've supported? You've done 150. Okay, I'm going to definitely sit and listen to this. So he's done 150 ayahuasca journeys and wants to share the experience and the learning and the lessons. And he's just an awesome deep thinker who has committed his life to improving humans every way he can. So I give you CK Lin. Please give him a warm welcome.
CK Lin, CK Lin, CK Lin.
I brought my fan club. Thanks, guys. Well, let me first start off by saying thanks for being here. Beautiful place. You have many options. You're at Burning Man. You're here. Thank you for being here. Show of hands. How many of you are interested in ayahuasca for the purpose of healing? Perfect. How many of you are interested in ayahuasca for the purpose of spiritual development growth? Okay, and then how many of you are interested in for what's next? What's my vision? Can I have more clarity? Beautiful. Now, I wanted to ask you about your experience. How many of you have never done ayahuasca? Well, a lot of people. How many of you done 3 times or less? Oh, great. 5 times or less?
Make it keep going.
Yeah. 10 times or more? Oh, great. All right. You're very experienced. Amazing. Awesome. So I asked that question because I wanted to tailor add value to you, so that way I can support your healing journey, growth journey, spiritual journey as well. Let's see. Let me share a little bit about my background so you know where I'm coming from. I'm born Chinese, and I have a PhD in biomedical engineering, and I'm a recovering perfectionist overachiever. So when I was what prompted me to start this journey is because I oriented my entire life around achievement. PhD, director from the University of California, chief cultural officer for a $1 billion company. But in spite of all of the achievement, my experience of life was more and more and more unfulfillment, if that's the word. And what viscerally, experientially would be, food had no taste. Beverage couldn't quench my thirst. And I had no joy. I would just, work. So I knew that something had to change because during the quiet moments behind closed doors, I was entertaining more and more suicidal thoughts, like, what's this all for? Like, this is kind of pointless. Like, all this achievement means nothing, all the promises they made, told us in school, what the heck? So that's the start of my journey. Ayahuasca was the furthest thing that I was interested in. No alcohol. I protect my mind very, very well, but I was looking for solutions. So chance have it, a friend of mine did it. He told me about how life-changing it was. I went into my first ceremony, not knowing anything, not having done any psychedelics at all. The thought I had is, wow, this looks kind of cultish. Am I gonna die? But that was the first ceremony, and within the first 45 minutes, I had my first mystical experience.
First what?
Mystical experience. All the things I read about in books where they met God. I met God. I saw a planet-sized Buddha, and I was one of the millions of tiny Buddhas surrounding the planet-sized Buddha. And in that moment, I get that doesn't exist was too limited view of how I look at the world. Like, wow, how arrogant was I to think that there's no data that doesn't exist? How do you prove the love of your mother? Like, what's the data? Well, no, it's kind of like that. So, does any of that resonate at all? Does that make sense? Great. So that was 7 years ago, and I've continued this work as a student, first and foremost. As Dr. Rock was saying earlier, I'm a student of life. I look for transformational modalities.
Sir.
If you name it, I probably have done it. But whatever like Tony Robbins, landmark, like any kind of transformational modality, I've done it. And ayahuasca remained to be one of the most profound tools that I have come across. For many reasons that I mentioned earlier. Healing, letting go of limiting beliefs I have about myself. Looking at all the things that I've done. The way that I'll articulate ayahuasca is imagine your mind, your consciousness is layers of onions, right? There are different constructs that you inherited from your parents, your culture, your schooling, people around you, society as a whole. How do I actually look at it as objectively as possible and look at the impact it has on my life? So the way I say is, when I drink ayahuasca, I put my consciousness under a microscope. I get to look at all of my brightest lights, the blessing, the gifts, and all of my darkest shadows. And I get to examine. Oh, does that empower me? Or does that disempower me? How do I refine my maladaptive thoughts about myself, about others, about society, and the world, as well as my most empowering ideas about. You had a question?
Who is the I who is looking at this?
Say it again?
Who is the I who is looking?
Yeah, that's a very deep question. So the way I think about it is, there's the ego, right? The personalities, right? All that stuff, and then there is the omnipresent observer. A deeper conversation, but the way I would just quickly explain it would be, if I were to look at myself as the director, like I'm an actor, I'm the playwright, but I'm also the director. Like looking at my life as a director, like, oh, the C.K. Lin character, how he's lived his life. That's the way I think about it. Makes sense? Awesome. So in the 7 years I have, as a scientist, couldn't help myself. I was systematic, very scientific about what is this medicine? What is this all about? How does it impact my life? So I went through 30 different facilitators, looking at what worked, what doesn't work, what I like, what I don't like, etc., etc. And put models together so I can make sense of what is it, right? And I know that ultimately models are useful, but they're not the map. The models are the map, it's not the territory. But nonetheless, I find them useful. And I started to help others participate, experience this beautiful medicine experience. Because I've seen many, many people who, just like me, think, oh, ayahuasca, it's amazing. It's a silver bullet. If I drink it, my life will work out. It's just all I need to do is drink the medicine and everything will be fine. What I found is that's not the case. It's a beautiful tool, but nonetheless, how do we use this tool and create an integrated, holistic approach for healing, for growth, for self-understanding? Make sense so far? I'm seeing blank faces, so if what I'm saying resonates, nod or yes,
Yes.
it will help me a lot. Because otherwise I'll be like, am I not going detail enough?
It's landing.
Huh?
It's landing.
Okay, great, awesome, very good. So currently, right now, I am a ayahuasca assisted executive coach supporting people who want to clarify their purpose, deal with their or neutralize their inner critic. Because that's the thing that I struggle with the most. How many of you, by the way, quickly, struggle with inner critic? Harsh inner critic? Okay, great. I'll talk to you guys. And it also deepen one's spiritual connection. That's one thing that's surprising for me personally, because as a scientist, I was, what do they call it? Agnostic. Yeah, maybe not, but now there is, and how do I deepen this connection to God, to myself, capital myself. So I'll share some key lessons that I got, and then I'll also share a quick experience, because I can't serve you ayahuasca or hape right now, so, but I can give you a little taste of what is this thing. So as I mentioned earlier, for me, these medicines, ayahuasca specifically, is a tool for refinement. It helps me amplify my awareness. I'm more perceptive, I'm more sensitive to what's going on, the content of my mind. There are 4 components of consciousness. How I was taught, right? Your thoughts, your feelings, emotions, your body sensations, your memories, your mental images.
What was the last one?
Mental images, memories.
You can speak up a little.
Of course.
Thank you.
You will be the gauge of my loudness.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, good. Thank you. So when I drink ayahuasca, as I mentioned, I expand my awareness of all the things happening inside. So I can use it as a tool for refinement, right? What else do I want to say about that? Oh yeah. So life is happening all the time, anytime, anywhere, and there's a lot of things happening in the mind. The mind's real busy. There's also a lot of things, especially at Burning Man, happening outside. Right? How do we pay attention, raise our awareness to the subtlest things that we are not paying attention? Be kind to ourselves and others, so on and so on. So that's lesson 1. How do we expand our awareness, our consciousness, right? Lesson 2, as someone who has a really busy mind, how do I practice or unburden the things, the clutter, the stuff, the mental chatters, the monkeys? There are many different words to describe this as a skill, because the more empty, higher, the more empty the mind, for those of you who don't want clarity, the more clarity. You can sense the subtlest whisper here from your higher self, from consciousness. Oh, do this, talk to that person, stay away from that person, etc., etc. Okay? Unburdening is a skill. And I think, from my perspective, someone who's gone through the full process of our education system, that is a skill that's not taught. It's so important, the unburdening of one's stuff, inner chatter. Lesson 2. Lesson 3, the joy that I was looking for is not circumstantial. The joy I was looking for is omnipresent, it's intrinsic, it's here all the time. But the thing that stopped me from experiencing this intrinsic joy, so the joy is that I was seeking is intrinsic, is omnipresent, but it's quiet. Right? So if I have a lot of stuff in my mind, then I won't be able to see it. And that's the reason why, even though I had all these blessings and gifts and achievements, yet I just couldn't see it. All I saw was what I didn't have. The lack, the scarcity, right? So that's lesson 3. Lesson 4. The way I see these ceremonies, it's not just the medicine, it's the ayahuasca experience. I'm a martial artist, so to me, ceremony is a dojo for life. how can we practice and look at and spar, so to speak, with our higher self, so we can learn some lessons, get some insight, you know? Yeah. So, and the beautiful thing about an ayahuasca experience for me, it's not just, oh, I had this insight, let me go practice after that. I can practice immediately. There's a really fast feedback loop, right? So, case in point, for those of you who have done ayahuasca, you probably can empathize what I'm speaking about. Sometimes you don't feel so good, there's some queasiness, but if you just adjust your posture a little bit, from here to here, if you deepen your breath, if you maybe put your hand on the ground, put your hand on your heart, these subtlest changes really makes a difference. And over here in Burning Man, it's also another beautiful ceremonial space, right? Sometimes it's so hot, or someone else right next to you too loud, very annoying, right? Or the music is pumping bass while you're trying to sleep. Do some of these subtle practices. It makes a difference. Make sense? All right, awesome, very good. Last thing, I'll say it before, but I'll say it again. You know, the way I see ayahuasca is that it's not a silver bullet, it's not a panacea, it's not an end-all be-all of things. It's a beautiful tool that allows us to have really clear picture of what's going on, and the important thing is, as they say, integration. What are you gonna do afterwards? That to me is the real ceremony. Ayahuasca, you get a little snapshot of what's going on, maladaptive behavior, beliefs, but afterwards, how can you integrate it with some of proven methodologies, meditation, stillness, go to nature, right? It's important to think about that. So think more holistically rather than, go ahead.
Do you remember your entire experience?
So there are different, so the question is, do I remember all the things that happened in the ceremony? The quick answer is no, because ceremony comes at you fast, right? But I'm also a very keen note taker. So I take lots of notes, right? And it's a nuanced thing, because some people believe that, hey, when you take notes, you're out of your present moment. But if I don't take notes, guess what? My mind would try to remember it. Like, what was the thing? It was the life-changing insight and lessons. And that also takes me out of presence. So I take a little bit of notes, but then I go back to the ceremony. Yeah. Cool. Good so far? Any questions? Bernie?
How is pivotal meditation
Yeah.
What was the question?
Yeah, I'll repeat it. How has meditation played a part in my last 7 years experience? Is that correct? How do I answer this question? So I do have a meditation practice, but the idea here is awareness, right? Awareness, you may want to write this down. Awareness is the name of the game. Am I only aware when it's quiet, I'm sitting by myself, there's beautiful music playing in the background? So there is structurally discipline. I do meditate. I do my best anyway. I'm not perfect, but I do my best. And the idea is, anytime I notice my mind's running, or I'm not present, I'm irritable, and then I'll have tools to help me be more present. One of the tools, have you done ayahuasca yet? Yeah. You know rape? It's a jungle tobacco they blow into your nose.
Yeah.
Alright, great. So that's a beautiful tool to give you a dose of the present moment. I do that quite a bit.
Sometimes beautiful.
Huh?
Sometimes beautiful.
Very good.
Okay. So,
Can I ask you a question?
yeah, go ahead.
I'm curious, you've done journeys with Westerners who've held versus going to work with indigenous. Can you
Yeah.
tell about the qualitative differences and any suggestions on
Yeah.
picking a shaman
Yeah.
since you've gone to 30?
Yeah. So I started with, as we call them, neo shamans, the Westerners who may have some training in ayahuasca, and then I moved in the last couple of years only exclusively working with indigenous people, especially from Brazil. How do I say this? There is a qualitative difference. I mean, all of these facilitators are doing their work because they are sincere and earnest in helping people. But qualitatively, for me, there is a difference in just the depth of understanding in working with the medicine. For me, these indigenous elders have been working with this medicine for generations. Their dad, their dad's dad, their dad's dad. So, and they have been drinking the medicine since they were in the womb. To 5-year-old, 6-year-old, it's part of their lifestyle. I recently went to the Amazon jungle. I get to witness their relationship with the medicine. The relationship with medicine is not, oh, I am in deep trauma, therefore I need to drink medicine in 3 months. They drink it every week. Every week. It's incredible. From like, and well, real quick, one thing. And then part of their rituals, culture is they chant. So all of the songs, all of the chants are prayers. So they have a really deep relationship, not only with the medicine, but also with the capital S self, but also the divine, the transpersonal self, right? So it's not to take anything away from Westerners who practice this medicine, but personally, I just prefer the indigenous way. Cool. Questions, comments?
So you only go to Brazil per se to take your medicine, or?
Oh, yes.
Like-
So I live in LA. LA, there's
Can
a...
you repeat the question?
Of course. Do I exclusively go to Brazil to drink the medicine? There is a palpable difference when I'm deep in the Amazon jungle and hearing the cicadas and hearing the birds, seeing the sky, right? The huge fire about this tall. However, it's not very accessible. And I live in LA. There's a huge demand in LA, so all of the shamans, they do come to LA. So most of my ceremonies, I do it in LA.
Would you share?
Huh?
Would you share
Any names?
Yeah.
Talk to me afterwards.
Okay.
Yeah, just talk to me afterwards.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
I was just wondering, not the names of the individuals, but the particular ethnic groups in Brazil where the shamans come from.
Oh, so the groups that I drink from,
Yeah.
there are 3 tribes that I drink from. The Yawanawas, the Ashaninkas, and the Huni Queens. And one thing I also wanted to say, sometimes, especially Westerners, they see an indigenous person and they automatically assume that they have the lineage, the training that is important from my perspective to ask them. Since we're on this topic, to ask any facilitator potentially, hey, what's your training? What's your lineage? Where is the medicine coming from? What's your experience with it? How many times have you poured or drank? So you have an understanding of the depth of their knowledge. Good?
Would you classify any like significant differences between the practices of those 3 different main ethnic groups?
Now we're getting really nuanced. Come talk to me afterwards. Yeah. I'll just say one more thing. When people hear ayahuasca, they think all ayahuasca is the same. They're not. There are different practices. For example, in Colombia, they drink a yahe. Yahe is a huge purgative. In ceremony, you're just
Throwing up.
you're just violently or forcefully cleaning yourself, healing yourself. So if you're into that, great, that's fine. And the Brazilian style is different. The Peruvian style is different. Just there are different styles, different medicine, different philosophy. You have another question?
Yes. Can you explain the basics of what it is?
What's ayahuasca?
Yes.
Yeah, so ayahuasca, I'll do a quick plug. For those of you that are interested in more, what's the scientific understanding of ayahuasca, I have a list of resources. If you want that, just write your name, email, phone number, I'll text it to you, the Google Doc, if you're interested in that. Okay, but real quick, ayahuasca is a mixture of two things. One is chacuna leaf, where it's full of DMT, and the ayahuasca vine is an MAOI inhibitor that support the staying or within your system for 6 to 8 hours, and that's the journey. Okay, great.
I know that ayahuasca is your spiritual mind, but do you feel like it's harmed your intellectual mind?
Oh, really good question. Perfect for me. Of course, I will repeat the question. She asked, ayahuasca is great to enhance our spiritual connection, but does it harm your intellectual mind, your cognitive ability? For me, it definitely, I can get into more brain science, this and that, and it definitely helped emotional processing quite a bit. Intellectually, I feel like I'm even better, because I just don't have the stuff that clogs up the distortions of beliefs, of reality, and so on. So I feel like I'm actually much more attuned to what really is going on. Yeah. Yeah. Memory. Do I lose my memory? I have great memory. Better, if you ask my fiance. Go ahead.
I'm curious, especially as a scientist, people report sometimes with these experiences, they have telepathy experiences, for example. Let's say they feel somebody else's emotions or memories, and then potentially they could talk to that person and confirm that, yes, that other person thought about those things, or capture some. So something like that could be something verifiable, right? It's magic, it's telepathy, let's say, it's not scientifically accepted, but it's something verifiable.
Yeah.
Your experiences, have you ever experienced any of this magic? Because like lots of things happen, which could be potentially verifiable.
Yeah. So the question is, there are lots of anecdotes of, in ceremony, you sense someone feeling something, and later on you verify with them, were you thinking about me, or did you think about me, and then it was true, and he asked if it's scientifically verifiable. Is that correct?
Yeah, or other kind of experiences, but which can be confirmed, which are not just subjective. You can externally confirm them somehow.
Yeah. So personally, I haven't experienced that, so therefore from direct experience, I can't say yay or nay. What I can say is that's definitely something to be studied, because from a personal perspective, as I mentioned earlier, my perceptivity, my sensitivity is heightened.
Yeah.
I can feel, especially people in the room, oh, this person could use some help. Let me go and support this person. But do I have, across the United States, the world, I haven't had that yet. So I can, from first person perspective, share that with you. Yeah. Okay, more questions?
Yeah. So taking plant medicine like ayahuasca, say in your own home, just secluding yourself, versus being in the elements, listening to the chanting, being supported by loving people. Now, why is that more transformational, more profound? Why?
Yeah, good question. So the question is, if I were to drink ayahuasca by myself in seclusion versus I drink ayahuasca in a supportive community, why is this more effective than this? Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do I believe that?
Yeah. So, how do I say this? Ayahuasca is a very powerful compound. We need to treat it with a lot of reverence and respect. So, when I hear some of my acquaintances, they drink ayahuasca by themselves for the first time, my advice would be not to do that. Because you're opening up to the depth of your consciousness, unsupported, unsupervised, could be quite dangerous, in my opinion. In terms of how the indigenous people introduce this work, as far as I understand it, you drink with supervision first, and then when you do a dieta, which is 14 days, 30 days, 90 days, 6 months, a year, then you isolate yourself in a hut, but still under supervision. They're not with you, but they are kind of watching you from a distance. Again, because it's a powerful amplifier of one's consciousness. So that would be my cursory answer right now.
And also, when I was at the psychedelic party here next door last night, they had a party here, and they were playing psychedelic music. Immediately, my association went back to my plant medicine ceremonies, and I felt the same kind of flowing of love. And it seems like I had this connection with my ceremony.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm talking about music.
Music is a huge, important component in the ceremonial experience from my perspective, because music jots certain emotional memories of something, right? So the way I think about ayahuasca ceremony, I get to benchmark joy, like what's peak joy feel like. So whenever maybe it plays certain medicine music, I can be brought back to that. Oh, this is peak joy.
I don't know if 150 journeys is like a typical number or not, if you're not indigenous, but why did you do 150? How did you decide to go all the way there?
Yeah, for sure. So the question is, why did I do 150 ceremonies? I actually thought about that question quite a bit. There are different schools of thought. How many of you know Ram Dass? His whole philosophy is, if you knock on God's door and God answers, and just leave it at that, right? So he had one LSD trip, and for the rest of his life, he just did the purest meditation kind of a thing, right? So he doesn't use any kind of exogenous substance to support his journey. That's one school of thought. That's the purest. The way I think about it is, these are tools of refinement. So while I may work on something, for example, finding joy as an example, right? And I'm integrating it, I'm practicing it without drinking the medicine. And after that's done, what's next? So I use these as tools for refinement. How do I continuously be on this journey of learning? Does that make sense? Because I'm big on mastery. I'm big on. I don't disagree with Ram Dass. I think if that's how one wants to do it, fantastic. But these are really powerful experiences and tools for me to be on this journey of learning. The way I would say it to my students is, you exercise one day and say, I figure out exercise, therefore no more exercise. Or I ate a beautiful lunch, I now know food, I don't need to eat food anymore. That's the way I think about it, personally. More questions, great.
So are you gonna keep doing it?
Yeah.
You're gonna do more and more?
Absolutely.
Do you have a magic number where you're gonna
The magic number. I have arrived at 200. I am complete. I'm now a walking Buddha. No, who knows? Maybe one day I'll be complete and that's that. But as it is right now, I really see it more and more integrated as a lifestyle for me. Especially seeing how the indigenous people, their relationship with the medicines.
Are you taking full doses every time that you go visit the ground?
Am I taking photos?
Full doses.
Oh, of course. Oh, yeah. Always. Yeah, full dose. There will be times when I'm a guardian, as an example. I need to be functional, right? I can be a guardian, but right, that doesn't work. So there will be times where I would adjust, but I always do full dose. Go ahead, you raise your question.
So, two questions.
Okay.
One is, what was your most profound experience where you connected with others?
Uh-huh.
And the next question is, have you heard about Ayahuasca and Kundalini?
Awakening?
Yeah, awakening.
Yeah, for sure. So the question is, what's my most profound experience? One. And second one is, what's the relationship between ayahuasca and Kundalini awakening? Yeah. So it's a really interesting question because now I need to compare all of my experiences and pick which one's the most profound. You know, do you have any kids?
Yeah.
Okay, who's your favorite kid? Exactly, right? So I can't compare what's my most profound experience.
But my question was really about connecting to the universal consciousness when you are in the journey. So,
No, I understand.
Yeah.
I get it. But to me, it's same comparison.
yeah.
Because when I'm connected in that moment, at that time, that version of CK, that was the most profound. And the next time I do it, I connect again. That one's the most profound. So there's no like, oh, let me see, 150. This is amazing. 145. You know, that's just not how I think about it. And Kundalini awakening, a lot of people have talked about it, but again, personally, that's not my experience. So I can't really comment on something I never experienced. There are some people. Okay, go ahead.
What is the most consecutive days you've done ayahuasca? And then when you and if you did it multiple days in a row, was it significantly different or better than just doing it one
Yeah.
at a time?
Great, good question. So, in the Western world, typically we do Friday nights, Saturday nights, and then Sunday you go home. For many reasons, right? People need to work. We have lives outside of it, etc. But I've done a 3-day Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night, and we go back Monday. And the difference for me is, think about it more like Act 1, Act 2, Act 3. I just get to go deeper when I consecutively drink medicine. And full dose. Full dose. And again, those of you that, this is technical, but I'm sure this. Typically we drink not just one time, we drink 3 times. But in the jungle, it's open bar. You can drink as many times as you want. But again, they just have a different experience, right? So different, yeah. Question?
Yes. I guess it was Allison Gray talked about contacting luminous beings. And whenever you have any experiences like that, with entities in the
Yeah. I understand. So the question is contacting luminous beings, aliens, entities, outside, the transpersonal contact effectively, right? That's not been my experience personally. That's not how my mind works. To me, the way I think about this is these are different aspects of my consciousness. They're not transpersonal, even though they may look like, oh, here's a planet-sized Buddha, or these are aspects of who I am, and also the collective whole. So I don't have any fabulous stories about talking to aliens or little dwarves or anything like that for you. I have more questions. Did you raise your hand earlier? Okay.
So, about spirituality.
Uh-huh.
You're going from agnostic to believing in God.
Yes.
That,
Going from agnostic to believing in God.
So believing in God, for you, I think this is personal, but is that connected to religion in any way?
No,
Is it more like a
definitely not.
holistic belief?
Bruce Lee had a beautiful quote I really love, and so I always quote him. It's like religion to spirituality is like the finger pointing at the moon. Look at the moon, don't look at the finger. So I personally, I respect religion, but I don't, like, it's more my direct experience with the divine, not so-and-so reverend or so-and-so priest as an intermediary to, that's not my relationship. More questions? Okay, that's great.
As a logical, scientist, when you want to start your first
her question was, as a scientist, that I have doubt during my first ceremony, and if there's any doubt, would that impact the experience, right? Good question. I think it's really important to have psychological safety as a baseline. Hence why picking the right facilitator / coach for you, in my opinion, is very important. Because if you don't trust the guide, you're in the passenger seat. They're the driver, right? You're like, where are we going, right? It's not gonna be a productive experience, in my opinion. So, but it's a relationship. So in the beginning, definitely trepidation, anxiety, but these days I just drink the medicine, very relaxed, very trusting of the medicine. But it's a journey. So how do you cultivate trust to something or someone when you've never done it? It's a journey. Yeah. Okay.
What parts of your old life are in your present life now? Or have you completely changed?
Good question. What parts of my old life remain, and or have I completely shifted? I think it'll take a couple of days to answer that question, but I'll just say this. I am who I am still. If anything, I'm more of who I am. Starting drinking the medicine. And I let go of many, and still many to go, I'm not done yet, of maladaptive thoughts, behaviors, emotions, traumas, intergenerational trauma, ancestral trauma, all these things that I've been carrying. And I would say, you didn't ask this, but I'll say one more thing. As a PhD person, outside of my scholarly studies, I would still consume hundreds and thousands of books. And there's a big difference of an intellectual understanding of I am good enough to viscerally experience I'm whole and complete. Hence why I'm a huge advocate of this work, because it's not just, oh yeah, repeat the mantra, I'm whole and complete, then you feel that way. But really it's like truly believing it from the inside out. That's, for me, a big difference of reading something from a book or listening to a teacher to having a direct experience to who you really are. So.
I've done 2 ceremonies, and my lessons were relax your heart, relax your mind, and letting go. Like the only conclusion is letting go, she told me.
Yeah.
And for me, letting go is, I understand I need to let go, but how do you actually let go? Because everyone says, let go, let go. I'm like, how do you, you know, that's one thing. And then the other thing is, you know, she said that stop trying to make sense. And I tried to make sense of my experience because it felt like it's something inside, the wisdom and insights and downloads that I got, they were external, like the mother, a grandmother, right? We call it Ayahuasca grandmother. Like it was somebody else giving me the information, but it's also felt like it's something within me, like higher self.
Yes.
So how do you look at it, or like as a scientist, or like what is it like if there
who is speaking?
Who's speaking?
Yeah, I got you. So first question is, the lesson she got from drinking ayahuasca is let go. You didn't say this, but these are my words. But how the fuck do you let it go? I remember when I first started my transformation journey, somebody would tell me, like, just be present. Like, if I know how to be present, I'll be present. If I know how to let it go, I'll let it go. Like, how do you do it? I mean, to me, it's a skill. And to the best of ways to transfer what I've learned is you practice. So for example, something is bothering you right now. Maybe your back, maybe it's too hot. What you focus on expands. So focus on what you want to focus on, and then allow the discomfort, the thing that's bothering you, to disappear over time. I know it's not super tactical, but that's a way to practice. And come talk to me afterwards. I have a whole library of little techniques to support people to let go, to unburden themselves. Because I'm truly a believer of these are important techniques to learn, and there are so many techniques, but not very many people are like me, who's like a super nerd who want to collect all these different techniques from all over. So come talk to me afterwards. So the second question, and what was that again? Oh, who's speaking?
Who's speaking? Yes.
Yeah. As a scientist, I try to figure it out in the beginning. These days, it actually doesn't matter to me anymore who is speaking. It could be the capital S self from the within, higher self, or it could be the transpersonal, different voice speaking to you, the grandmother or God or speaking to you. Does it really matter who it is? Right, you're just trying to understand, right? But understanding, would it actually help you? Not really, I don't think. Right, it's more the practice, like, oh yeah, let me let go, let me trust this person or that person. So to me, it's more, the more important thing is less the intellectual understanding, rather it's more the practice. And then you try it on. If it works for you, keep it. If it doesn't work for you, it's an interesting insight, but that's it, right? So. Got 5 minutes? Wow, time flies. Okay, great. Well, there's many things I wanted to cover, but time flew really fast. So if you want to learn more, come talk to me. And I have some gifts for you, for those of you that want the scientific research or some ceremonial music playlist. If you want it for Burning Man, I have those for you. What else do I have? If you're going to your first ceremony, I have 4-week preparation process to help you optimize your body, your mind, your spirit, your environment, your relationship, your heart. These are all ways. And if you don't have time to talk to me, just write down your name, phone number, email, and then say, hey, send me this. I'll repeat it again: scientific research, ceremonial music playlist, and the 4-week course to help you optimize your journey. Is that good?
Yeah.
You're very welcome. Come talk to me if you want to nerd out about